What's up, guys? I'm out here heading to put some trail cameras up. It's actually been a really dry summer, but right now I'm in full rain gear. It is not dry. It rained all night. I'm gonna have a lot of cameras kind of targeting water, but I kind of wanted to do a little video on what to look for, where to put your cameras. Obviously it differs in different parts of the country, but out here, as we would call them, hunting mountain whitetails, it's a little different. Look for a sign like this. There's a main trail, runs down in this bottom, and it's gonna lead down. There's multiple little draws that come together down here, create a pinch point, and at the bottom there's a water tank. So my plan is to go down here, put it where the two draws come together, leading to the water tank. That way you can catch deer coming from either direction. Naturally, they typically funnel through these bottoms. Not always, but you can kind of follow the main trails. It's not rocket science, but anyone that's newer to the hunting world, just a little tip for you there. Also, it's a good idea to put them on water, but also when you're on public land. Lots of people like to check out water sources, so people are not always honest, as you probably saw in our last video when one of our trail cameras got stolen. Never really had an issue in this area, but you never know. So I'll catch up with you when I get down here. Alright guys, I just got to a spot I just found. I'm going to put a camera up here. I'm going to show you why. So I'm going to use this tree. The camera's going to be facing kind of to the, it would be northwest, west. It's always a good idea to face the camera not straight east or southeast, depending on your sun situation, because a lot of times it'll overexpose the pictures during certain times of the day. Also southwest, it can do the same thing this time of year, but typically not too big of an issue. But right here, if you look close, so there's two main trails that meet. There's also cattle in here, but the deer will use the same trails. So if you look here, there's two main trails that meet and two trails that come through the grass off the hill here. So it's kind of like a four-way trail pinch point. Two main draws come together right here. There's water there. There's water down here. So just a natural travel corridor. Also a great place for a tree stand. I like to look around, kind of pick out a tree and visualize it in case you do have stuff coming around. You want to be able to make sure you can get set up and hunt it effectively. But in the Black Hills, there's grazing permits. There's lots of bovine around, but the deer don't mind. They're used to it. You do get quite a few pictures of beef cows as well, but just put a bigger chip in, use lithium batteries, you'll be all good. But I'm gonna get this first camera up, I'll move to the next spot. But this is what the view will be of the camera once it's on the tree. Probably set it up right about like that. Cover all four of those trails that come together. Got the camera up. That's the view. We'll move to the next one. Headed into, put another camera up. There's a nice, like, 130 class probably. Put a video on here. It's just gonna be kind of shaky because I'll be videoing through my binocs, but nice buck. Right in the edge of this other pinch point. Put one camera on that side. I'm gonna put another camera where these other two draws come together and see what happens, but I'm gonna wait for him to move off. I don't want to bump him out of here. He kind of caught me in the wide open, but he hasn't even seen me yet, so I'm just gonna hang out for a while. right, so I set that other camera, went down to the water tank, head up this other drainage. I'm probably only about a quarter mile from that other camera, but I'm gonna put another camera in here because this is another main travel corridor down to that water tank, and I'm sure the majority of the deer will venture by one of the cameras, but I want to figure out if there's a big one in here, if he's coming from this way or that way. So I am gonna put it here. There's multiple draws that come out of these two fingers. There's a finger there and another finger here, and funnel right down the bottom. Lots of trails throughout here. So this is a good way to kind of cover two travel corridors heading to a main water source. Just a little tip might help you out. Like I said, it's a lot different when you're hunting different places, but in the Black Hills or in wooded terrain, they kind of wander. They feed on all sorts of forage. There's no shortage of it. So they're not going down to like a hayfield or anything. So you just kind of have to target water sources, bedding areas in between. Typically the deer in past years seem to bed up in this thicker stuff, funnel down to water, mingle around, go feed, and then come back at some point to bed in here. So it's a nice little spot to catch one, hopefully. Working my way back to the truck to go to a couple other spots. And I'm pretty confident in this area. Kind of excited for season to get here. Just seeing that buck within bow range gets a guy even more excited. So I'm walking back through, taking a little shortcut. Thought maybe I'd stumble across a shed. It's unlikely, but there's not a lot of grass right here, so there was a shed that we found in here that we never paired up. So I'm just doing a slow walk just in case. But we'll see you at the next spot. Well, I am headed down to a spot that I've never put a camera before. Shed hunted this little valley a couple years ago, and there's typically elk and deer that kind of funnel down to a meadow down here, so thought, you know what, for a little change of scenery, go find a area with some good sign and put a camera up, see what happens. There's a meadow down here that this whole valley up through here funnels down to, and there's a water hole out in that meadow as well. The meadow is private, so naturally keeping it on this side of the meadow, but I think I'm gonna go up here a little bit where it's a little narrower. There's a bunch of trails that come through here, one that crosses the fence up there, but I'm thinking that as they come through, most of the trails come together in this little bit narrower part of the valley up here, and then it flanks off three ways, so it's kind of a three-way pinch point. I'm gonna put the camera right there just to focus on where everything comes together. Probably get a few more pictures than if I was to just pick one trail. Just got the camera up, put it on that tree right there, and there's a bunch of weeds right here, and there's a big major trail that comes through here, another one that comes here, another one that dives over here. So it's a good natural funnel. Also, I wouldn't be surprised if occasionally they bed real close by here. Lots of cover. So, see if it produces. I just got it positioned right. I always make sure and walk out and double check exactly where it's pointed, because sometimes you throw it up, you think it's good, but then when you walk out here, it's like pointed too far towards the trees and you're losing some viewing area. So always good to double check it, take a couple test photos, make sure it's positioned correctly. And then I like to let them sit this time of year, leave them for at least probably a month, just try to stay out of here as much as possible. But yeah, 3 down. Just got camera number 4 up. Right here, there's a valley with a big funnel coming down into the meadow. On wet years, there's a spring down here. This year it's pretty dry, so there's not a main water source in here, but they use it as a natural travel corridor. And last year there was a drop time buck in here. Actually, the last few years he was in here, and he kind of disappears when season gets here. So we're hoping to catch him in his late summer pattern here, about a month, assuming he's still alive, and maybe get a stand hung or a ground blind up and try to put an arrow in him come September. Who knows? Time will tell. But I'm gonna hike out of here and head to the next spot. On the way out of here, took a little different way out just to check it out. And I just found a shed. Glowing in the green stuff, so it must be a little older. Or it could have faded already, so we'll see what it is. Just right across there somewhere. There. Little bonus. It's also like 50 yards off a little road. Oh, it's a set. They're right next to each other. Heck yeah. They're not big, but it's still cool. This whole shed season, I never found a set that was right next to each other like this. But decent buck. Just a solid 4 on that side. The other side is got a little 5th. Cool little set. Decent shape for being probably 2 years old. Not too chewed up. Heck yeah. I keep moving, got a lot of cameras to put up still, but we'll take that. Nice little bonus find. Well, just got another camera up. This one also in a pinch point. If you didn't notice, we like pinch points. But basically it loops around down, goes way down. There's water down in the bottom and a great big meadow. And then up here is kind of more of like a bedding area. So it's a good morning / evening spot, but they can kind of be anywhere. But yeah, there's a little view. A couple years ago, biggest deer we've ever had on camera in the Black Hills was right here. But we never were able to catch up with him, and he never showed up last year. So had pictures of that really nice 5x5 I shot in the Black Hills a couple years ago. I have a tag again this year, so hopefully something big will surface. We didn't put a camera in here last year. I think we were all just too frustrated about the big boy disappearing, so we might have to throw a stand back up in here. We'll see. I just about stepped on that hen turkey. I've been standing here putting a trail camera up. Scared the living crap out of me. She was like right here and I somehow never saw her. She's got a whole bunch of babies. They're real small, fresh hatch. Talk about a miniature heart attack. Well, I got my shorts cleaned out after the turkey. Scared the crap out of me. Got this camera up. It's in a nice pinch. Funnels down into a big sweeping valley, and there's drainage here, drainage over here, that meet right here. There's trails all over, and there's no cows in here yet, so there's definitely been some deer in here, which is a good sign. Also some turkeys in here, which I don't really care about right now. And we always put a tree stand up on the hill up here, so this is about a 40-yard shot to from where we put the tree stand every year. So hopefully there's a big boy in here. This is where Brandon shot his last 2 archery Black Hills bucks. So it's kind of a tried and true place. So I didn't really do much investigating. I'm just putting it up. A little different tree than we had it on before. I think I'll catch a little more action. But we'll let her soak for a month or so and come check it out. Well, just to put it in perspective, last year this pond had literally like I don't know, 15 feet, at least 10 feet of water in it when I put this camera up. So it's dry right now. Hopefully we can catch some big rains and fill that up, because that'd be awesome. But I still put it up. Got a bunch of draws funneling together, so I won't bore you with any more trail camera stuff. So just wanted to say real quick, thanks for watching. Go check out Gator Outdoors, T&K Hunting Gear, Working Class Bowhunter. Get yourself some Seeker. Had some right before I came down here. Good stuff. Not only does it taste good, but I've hiked a fair amount and it's relatively warm today. And I got a ton of energy. I just want to keep going. Still got a couple cameras to throw up, but I'll cut her off here. We'll see you next time.